Okay, good morning. Today is October 15th, 2024. My name is Jo Reingold, and I'm here interviewing Carole Ann Hoppenstein. Thanks for coming, Carole Ann.
My pleasure.
Nice to see you. Tell us a little bit about your background, whatever you know or want to tell us about your grandparents, your parents, and yourself, where they grew up, what kind of work they did, etc.
Okay. Well, my father came to this country from Kovna, Lithuania, and he arrived in Ellis Island, like so many Jewish immigrants did, and started working almost immediately with a pack on his back, going around. He used to tell me how he'd start out in the morning with for a nickel he could buy a cup of coffee and a donut, and that's basically what he lived on for that day. So it was difficult because he came to this country with no language, and it's just hard for me imagine. He was a very young boy. He was only like 13 years old, so he had to make his way across Europe and find a boat and get to the United States. Sort of incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Where nowadays we don't even let our 13-year-olds walk across the street without being supervised. So he started out in New York, but he had an uncle that moved to Texas, so he moved to Texas also, and again continued working as a merchant, and through a friend met his wife-to-be, my mother, and who lived in St. Louis, born and reared in St. Louis. And they lived in Texas, and I imagine somewhere along the way, someone said, "Oh, you can make a living in a little town in West Texas." And they moved to San Angelo, Texas, which had a population of about 25,000 people. We did have a synagogue there. It had been there for a long time, since the late 1800s. And while we didn't have regular services, but always had services on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. If anybody had a yard side, they called around the town of the Jewish families. There were about 30 families, and got 10 people to come in for a minyan. And about 25 years ago, the Jewish Historical Society actually put a marker on that little synagogue. I went back for that ceremony and was sort of amazing. It looked exactly like I remembered it, only smaller.
Was it still active, or had it been turned into a museum?
No, it's still active to an extent. I think there are even fewer Jewish people there than when I lived there, and that there weren't many then. And but they meet sporadically, I think. But it looks exactly the same. Nothing has changed at all. And so growing up in San Angelo was a wonderful experience for me, actually. And of course, I was mostly always with non-Jewish people because there were no kids my age. There were some a little bit older, some a little bit younger. Not many of those either, but I have a sister that's a couple years older than I am, and she and I, of course, were pretty close in years, usually shared 1 year in school or something like that. But all of my friends were non-Jewish people, which was a really good experience for me, because now I'm very comfortable in any surroundings.
I want to ask you to back up 1 minute. You said your mom was from St. Louis.
Yes.
So how did she make the decision to come to Texas, or how did that happen where she met your father?
Well, my father was friends with her a stepmother, and that lived in Texas, and they said, "Oh, I have my wife has a stepsister, Dorothy Fine, that I think you'd like to meet." So there was correspondence between them. I've saw at least one letter, very formal. Dear Miss Fine, her name was Schlesinger, Miss Schlesinger. Said about himself and that what he was doing, and he had a means, a livelihood that could support them, and he'd like to meet her, and very formal. And somehow Between this friend whose wife had a stepsister, they got together. They were in fact married in the home of this friend in Fort Worth,
Okay.
and lived in Texas and started out in Burke-Burnett, Texas. Also lived, I think, in Wichita Falls, and then probably, as I said, probably someone says, "Oh, I think you could make a living in this little town in West Texas," and off we went.
I often wonder, because my mother did the same thing, came across the country to Dallas many years ago and didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
Do you think your mom ever had any regrets coming here, or was she always pretty happy here in Texas?
I don't think she had any regrets.
Okay.
She seemed to be happy with her life there.
So tell us a little bit about your high school years. What kind of things were you involved in?
Well, I was involved in just about everything in high school. I was a member of the Future Teachers of America Club, which was, I always wanted to be a teacher. And the teacher that was there that sort of took me under her wing, she encouraged me to go to the National Convention and give a speech, and so I won Miss FTA, Miss Future Teacher of America.
Excellent.
She would also arrange for me to go for one day to a school, an elementary school, and act as a teacher for a day, and all that got a lot of publicity. I mean, pictures in the paper and everything. So anyway, I was very active in the Future Teachers of America. I was really part of almost everything that went on in the school. I was very active. I was voted one of the high school favorites, girl most likely to succeed.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and I went back 25 years later, and they thought that I had succeeded because I married a doctor. Forget the
perfect definition.
Forget my chemistry degree, my years of teaching.
You married a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, in those days, that was a big deal.
Did you go to college?
I did. I went to the University of Texas, and that's where I met my husband, Jay, and we got married as soon as I graduated, and I graduated with a degree in chemistry and a teaching license, and he was still in medical school, so I taught school for 3 years until he graduated, and then when he graduated, we moved to Minnesota, and I started having our family too. I have 3 children, and I had 1 child in Minnesota, and but I never really got back to the classroom, but I always taught somewhere. I taught Sunday school wherever we lived. And such as that. So teaching was my first career.
Right.
But once the children started coming, we moved around the country a bit to complete his training, but ultimately moved back to Dallas.
Where is Jay from?
Jay's from Dallas.
From Dallas.
He's a real Dallasite,
okay.
which is pretty rare
Yeah.
today. He was born and reared here, and we always knew that we were going to come back here because that was always his home and where he wanted to come back to. I was trying to think what else I want to tell you.
What kind of things, Jay probably didn't have much time, but what kind of things did you get involved in as a young adult, young married couple, or yourself as a young married person?
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't. We didn't do too much together at that time because in those days particularly, well, I think it's true today too, but training for a doctor was pretty much a full-time job, plus some, I mean, because he spent many nights also working. So, but I continued I was active in the Wives Club, for the doctors, whatever they called it, and that was mainly whatever, came out of that, whatever social thing may have come out of that was mainly what we did together because we didn't really have much time, to go out for any other activities.
Right.
I mean, I can't really think of anything that, go to a movie or something, but nothing else too much other than that.
At what point did you get involved in the Jewish community here? And
Well,
what kind of things did you do?
once I stopped the teaching and started having the family, that's when I began actually getting involved with the community. And I have been on the boards of every federation and every agency of federation. Worked really hard for federation, soliciting money and such as that. But also, I was head of their education committee, which was really a nice honor. And something that I did for 2 years, and I enjoyed that a lot. And I worked at the JCC, was on their board. I was treasurer of the JCC, won volunteer of the year 1 year, because I was very active everywhere here in the J. I started the Teacher Library here at the J, from buying the furniture that went in it, to getting the books that went in it, to getting a librarian and all such as that. And Corinne Teicher worked with me as well. Of course, she gave the money for it, but she also worked at getting it set up and such as that. So I was very proud of that achievement.
What were some of the? I'm very interested in the Teacher Library. I was, but what were some of your initial goals that you wanted to reach with Corinne as you developed the library idea?
We wanted to have a multi-purpose library. We wanted to have books. We wanted to have records. We wanted to have computer, which is very new in those days. But we wanted all of that for the library, and that's what we started with books. We got records from the Jewish music program that Harvey Weiner started on. I don't remember the radio station right now, but anyway, he donated his records to us. We did have a computer, which was pretty not new in those days, and books, and the librarian that helped with it. So our goal was really to have a multi-media type of library.
Is the space still there now?
The space that we had it in is now the Fruman Conference Room.
Oh, okay.
Just as you walk into your left. And of course now it's upstairs.
Right.
In the J.
Right.
Yeah.
So later on, was your husband able to join you with any, like, for example, any synagogue activities and projects?
No, I just was, I considered that being a professional volunteer is my second career, and that was not his thing. But I continued to work for all the agencies, and specifically for Akiba Academy, where my kids went to school. There wasn't anything I didn't do in that school, and I was president of the PTA, and ultimately the first woman president of the board of directors.
Oh,
so
very good.
It's my claim to fame. And I worked really hard for Akiba. It was really like a full-time job being there at those times, particularly. The school was a lot smaller, and volunteers did a lot of the work at that school.
Right.
So, but working out in the community was not really Jay's thing. He was busy with his doctoring and such as that. And once my kids got pretty much grown, they were still in school, but looking out for themselves, I started working in his office.
Oh. Okay.
And I was his medical assistant for many years. And ended up, actually, I just started out really doing the books there at the office. And then once one secretary or whatever left, I said, well, I think I could do the dictation. And pretty soon I said, well, when another one left, I said, well, I could do the insurance, and I can assist you with, the patients in the office. And so it ended up... we ended up with me doing everything in that office, and in fact we got along well, and it was a nice arrangement and sort of unique, because so many times doctors and their wives come in to work, and it doesn't work out very well, and all the other secretaries and ladies that are in the office are not happy with the wife coming in and taking over. But I knew my place. I didn't try to usurp his position, and did my job. And
Tell me how your family grew. About your 3 kids. What kind of lives did they have growing up, and what are they doing now? Where are they?
yeah, I'm so blessed that I have 3 wonderful children, and they all live here in Dallas with me.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they all went to the University of Texas. We're big University of Texas fans. In fact, the last one, I always sort of I mean, everybody knew they were going to go to the University of Texas because we were big Longhorn fans, hook 'em horns. But one of them, Laura, my daughter, she wanted to go to Stanford, and I said, "Oh no, Laura, you're going to love the University of Texas." And so she always teases me now. They were teasing me with the next one that came along, and I said, "Well, you know, they've said you shouldn't make them go to the University of Texas if they can want to go somewhere else or have the ability to go other places." I thought, well, that's true. So I said to my younger son, Russell, you know, you don't have to go to the University of Texas. If you want to go up east or go somewhere else, you can. He said, "Oh, no, Mother, I'm going to love the University of Texas," sort of mimicking me. But they all went there and enjoyed their life there at the University of Texas, and they all came back to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So I was blessed indeed, and they actually, I guess, well, they didn't all, but 2 of them at least met their spouses at the University of Texas. And so anyway, they had a nice life there. My older son works for a company that does computer billing for health clubs. He runs the Dallas office here. My daughter, the middle child, is Dr. Laura Lakritz. She is a very prominent person at the Southwestern Medical Center. She's a professor, full professor of neurology, psychology, something else. But she's a very important person there and a wonderful individual. And my younger son is an engineer, electrical engineer. So
You're very lucky. They all ended up back here.
they all ended up back here, and even my grandchildren, most of my grandchildren are here as well. My oldest son, Jeffrey, his 2 children live here in Dallas and work here. And one's going to get married in March. My granddaughter. And my daughter's children, one is in New York. She's working on a PhD at Yeshiva University, and her son is here in Dallas working he's a doctor now. He's doing his residency here at Southwestern, and my younger son Russell, his children, one's at SMU, and one's at the University of Oklahoma, and the other one is still in high school. She's a dancer, and she is one of the lieutenants of the drill team. Dances right in the front line. So I'm so blessed to have so many of them here. I mean, everybody's here except the ones that are off to school somewhere.
Did your volunteerism rub off on your children? Your love for doing all the things in the community?
I think so. 2 of them anyway.
Yeah, that's okay.
2
That's
out of
pretty
3
good.
is not
Right,
bad.
that's very good.
My older son is maintain a strong religious presence at this whatever synagogue he chooses. He's a member at Sheriff, but he also goes to some of Data north of Plano. He likes some of those people, and he works at Sheriff Israel on the Ladder Project, which is takes a good bit of his time. Actually, he's worked at finding people homes and moving them in and taking care of them once they do get here and get moved in. So he does a good bit of community service. He's also served on the Hebrew Free Loan Board, and and he, Rabbi Shlomo Abrams, that was here with Dad of North Dallas, they were very good friends, and he did all kinds of volunteer work for that rabbi. My daughter Laura goes to Shari Tefillah here in Dallas, and she has served on boards also of Chai and other places that are eager to have her. Akiba Academy, she's worked on the board there. Other places that I probably don't even, a lot of things I don't even know about that she does. She's
She's
just
very active.
one of these people that you just don't know how anybody could
Mm.
get done in one day what she gets done. So she's fairly amazing. My younger son, I don't find him to be too active in the community, but
That's okay.
yeah,
He still has time.
that's right.
You never know.
He's still young.
You never know. Right.
That's right.
So you mentioned, I'm going to segue into that, the Dallas Hebrew Free Loan Association.
Yes.
Just tell me a little bit of what you know about it. You said that Jeff was on the board of that.
Yeah.
What kind of work do you think they do, and what do you know about it? I know. Tell us about your father-in-law, a little bit about
Yeah.
the
My
beginnings.
father-in-law, his name is Manny Hoppenstein, Joel Manuel Hoppenstein. He was now a very active person in the Jewish community, and he was one of the ones that actually started Hebrew Free Loan, because he believed that people that came into this country from other places, they needed a hand up. They needed to get something to get them started. And the way they often worked was, well, the organization was started, but when somebody needed something, there was always like this group of friends, like a Jake Feldman, or a Reuben Wolfson, or Kaplan, or one, like a little cadre of about 4 or 5 of these guys. My father-in-law being one of them. Whenever they saw the need, they just picked up the phone, called. I'll call Jake, I'll call Reuben, I'll call this one. They got the money together to take care of this person or the situation. But they actually did start a formal organization, the Hebrew Free Loan Association. And I think that over the years it has helped not only people get started in their lives here in this country, but I know they give loans for education, because 2 of my grandchildren have taken out loans to do their higher education, work on my grandson that became a doctor,
Right.
got a loan to continue his medical school, and my granddaughter at the Yeshiva University, working on her PhD, also got a loan from Hebrew Free Loan for her education. And I know that it helps other people in other ways as well, not just for education, not just to get a start, but I mean, if someone gets into difficulty and needs to have some help along the way to get an air conditioner or something else, they could go to Hebrew Free Loan. So I think it's just a wonderful organization, and an example of how Jews take care of their own.
How did Jeff decide to be on that board?
Honestly,
What do you think was?
I don't know.
I was wondering what his motivation was.
I think his motivation was knowing that his grandfather was the one that started it, so that when he was called and asked to be on it, he was proud to be a part of it.
And how long did he serve on the board? Do you know?
I
Do you
think
remember?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. Anything else you would like to share with us? I have a question for you.
Okay.
You've worked on so many wonderful projects and activities through your lifetime.
Yes.
Do you have anything that you could say was like one of your absolute favorite things that you accomplished or did?
Oh yes. Actually, my work at Akiba is one of my great loves, mainly because, of course, I enjoyed getting the school off to a good start, but also it makes me feel so good when I hear somebody say to me, I got started in this community and working in this community because of you, meaning myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I did a good job of inspiring younger people to come after me and take over my job.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really good. Also, I started an organization called the Jewish Studies Initiative that had as its, the rabbinic head was Rabbi Hanan Schlesinger.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually changed my life because it was through him that I really became knowledgeable with Judaism. And I'm still studying. I have plenty more to learn, but
It's a lifetime
it's a
thing,
lifetime
right.
thing, and I'm a lifetime learner for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So but I started this organization from the ground up, soliciting the money for it and participation in it and such as that. And he taught. He was good. He taught taught classes at the JCC.
Mm-hmm.
He taught in people's homes. He taught at Shari Tefillah and in many places that, and I think he added a great deal to our Jewish community here, knowledge-wise of Judaism, and inspired me to be a lifetime learner of Judaism. And so I'm very proud of that organization. It doesn't exist anymore because Rabbi Schlesinger moved back to Israel,
Right.
and where he always lived, but he was here in the States for many years. And we had we had him in our community for about, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he made a big impact on the community at the time, and certainly made an impact on me. So it's definitely one of the highlights of my career.
Can you see anything similar morphing into something else, maybe, these days?
Well, I guess, moved now in my retirement. I am much more much closer to my synagogue, Sheriff Israel. I go every week and participate in all their activities and their Torah study, and as much as I can,
Mm-hmm.
anyway. But I don't know. For me, I've morphed into that role now of synagogue life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I have one more tough question for you.
Okay.
Well, maybe not so tough.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of anybody that you would consider a good role model for you through your life?
Oh my goodness, I've been blessed with many good role models. Specifically at Akiba Academy, I was so inspired by the leaders that started that school and worked tirelessly for it. Howard and Leslie Schultz,
Mm-hmm.
Shirley and
Irv.
Irv Ravinsky,
Mm-hmm.
the Lamberts, Anna Raymond Lambert. Those were really inspiring people to me. They were my friends. They were they were like colleagues. We worked together there at the school.
Mm-hmm.
But they really probably were the ones that got me inspired to work even harder in the community.
Wonderful. Any stories or anything you'd like to share with us?
No, I think I've pretty much told you most of what's going on here with me.
Well, I hope you continue to do all of your wonderful good deeds and good works, and continue, of course, in your education. It
Yes.
never stops.
That I will.
Well, thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you.